Ladies and gentlemen, the time is almost here, guys. We are less than 1 week away from the full Outriders release, guys. It has been a long month. I'm really excited that it's finally about that time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the video. My name is Sergeant Moose, guys. We're going to get into some of this stuff that was released today by the Outriders developers regarding what's going to be happening leading up to the full release of the game, which is April 1st. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so the team at People Can Fly kind of compressed us a nice beefy thread into this little 6-part index that is going to tell us everything we need to know about the launch of Outriders. Now the first part of this thread, the first topic, goes on to talk about preloading and launch timings. Now I know a lot of us, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter blowing up the Outriders Twitter handle asking about preloading. When are we going to be able to preload the game? When we pre-order the game, we want to be able to play it as soon as it's able to be played instead of downloading it. So, here you go guys. If you're playing on Xbox, preloading will be live today. So you can go ahead and preload the game right now and be ready to go whenever it's released. For PlayStation platforms, preloading will begin 48 hours in advance of release time. So again, that's cool too. You have 2 days essentially to be able to preload the game and be ready for launch. For Steam, we're still determining our preload options here and hoping to share news about them possibly next week. So Steam's not exactly worked out yet, but they're working on getting something going for a preload on Steam. Now, if you guys bought the game on Epic Game Store, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait until release to download the game. There is no preloading option currently available. As for launch times, guys, rolling midnight unlock for consoles, pretty typical with any game that gets a release on console. Xbox and PlayStation will unlock at midnight on April 1st for your specific country. For the USA, this means midnight EDT April 1st, which is 2100 hours PDT on March 31st. Unified single global time for PC and Stadia. The platforms will release on April 1st at 1700 BST, 9 o'clock AM PDT. These platforms can only release at a single time globally. This is due to how their stores are set up. On this page, guys, there's a link to a countdown. If you want to go in, type your region. It will tell you the exact hour, minute, second from when you're going to be able to play this game. So I'll leave a link down in the description to that countdown. Go ahead, type your region in, and you'll be able to figure it all out. This time is the standard PC release time for Square Enix and has been carefully chosen to ensure that the maximum amount of support and partner staff are on hand to deal with any launch day issues. Now guys, the next topic goes on to talk about what has changed between the latest demo build and the launch day build of Outriders. I know a lot of people have been having questions about that too. How old's the demo build? How is it going to play into the launch? So below is a condensed overview. In truth, the launch day build contains a multitude of additional general improvements, balancing, bug fixes, and crash resolutions. The highlights include lots of demo content, bug fixes, including, for example, mods on some legendary weapons not triggering properly. Balancing changes for various items, mods, enemy stats, and loot drops. Balancing is an ongoing process, and we have learned so much from internal playtests, the Insider's preview, and the demo over the previous months. However, we're sure that we will continue to learn more from the launch of the main game and the feedback provided by you, our community, so keep it coming. Crossplay will no longer be in beta and will be on by default. So basically this means, guys, if you don't want to play crossplay, you're going to have to manually turn it off because it is going to be turned on by default. Now for the PC players, they'll be able to add cross-platform players that they have previously played with to their friends lists. Consoles will receive this functionality through a future patch. Please note that if you turn crossplay off manually, you will not be able to automatically matchmake with people who still have it turned on, even if you are all on the same platform. Direct inviting should still work though. So basically what this means, guys, if you turn off matchmaking, say you're on PlayStation, you turn off matchmaking, you're not going to be able to randomly match with any other PlayStation players if they have crossplay turned on. So keep this in mind, if you turn crossplay off, you're only going to be able to randomly matchmake with the same platform of players that also have matchmaking turned off. Also, just to paraphrase the rest of this thread, there's going to be a quick mark functionality to your inventory now. This will allow you to mass mark all items based on their rarity and 1 or 2 button presses, rather than needing to mark items individually, which you can still do if that's what you prefer. Also, improvements to the cover system and improvements to the travel voting system when used in a group. Alright guys, so let's move on to patches and post-launch support. So as the development team at Outriders have been very transparent, and they did mention that they will be still supporting the game after launch. They're not just going to drop this thing off and then just let it go and work on something else. No. There is going to be a lot of post-launch support from Outriders, and of course it is an online game. It is a game that requires balancing, so there's going to be some patches here and there in the future. And just to paraphrase this a little bit, guys, there is going to be a day one patch, which was obviously expected. There is a chance that you'll be able to download the day one patch with the game when you download it. However, if that's not the case, you will have to download the patch whenever the game drops. Now this topic's a big one, guys. Item restoration for players who lost their legendaries. As mentioned in our previous dev update, we intend to restore legendaries to players who lost them as a result of a specific bug. This restoration is taking place right now as part of today's maintenance, which is the 25th today. The restoration is a one-off event for the global player population. Restoration will take place on March 25th and will restore any legendaries lost before March 22nd. Only legendary weapons that were lost can be restored. Please check whether you lost legendary weapons have been restored once the maintenance is ended. And since we implemented our fix for this bug, we have observed a smaller number of continued reports regarding lost legendaries. We believe most of these can be down to the regularity of the game autosaving rather than a specific bug. Put simply, if you found a legendary but the game was terminated before an autosave could occur, that legendary or any other item would never have made it into your server or your inventory logs. Instances of this occurring include players using specific farming methods that are so fast that they prevent the game from triggering an autosave cycle before the farming run is reset. In extreme cases, some players may go for long periods of time without autosaving. Players crashing out of the game just before or after they pick up a legendary. We're continuing to investigate such use cases and are looking into how we can mitigate against them in the future. While we hope that we manage to restore as many legendaries as possible, we expect there to be a niche case of players not having a legendary restored because it never arrived on our logs, as per the use cases allows. If this is the case, please reply to this thread here so that we can track and be aware of how many cases were missed. We will try to provide news around further steps when we know more. So again, guys, this thread will be linked down below. If you're still having issues retrieving your legendary items, you can report that to them as they're going to be looking into it further. Now, here's another big one, guys. For the cheaters out there that like to cheat in the game, no hate, but it does appear that Outriders is going to have a policy against cheating, and it's going to be a pretty hefty policy, guys. So, since the demo launch has been a hotly debated topic, so we wanted to provide some perspective on it as well as outline our policy regarding cheating and hacking going forward. For the context, at any time when we reached around 2 million players, we identified 200 players who had clearly cheated. In percentage terms, that's 0.01%. We can see you all. Yes, even the person who gave themselves 600 legendary weapons. We trust that this percentage will not grow by much as we move through and beyond launch, but below are the steps we will take to ensure that legit players will not have their fun spoiled as a result of cheaters. So the repercussions, guys. Repercussions are account-wide, not character-specific. You will not be able to matchmake with legit players. Matchmaking will likely take significantly longer. You will still be able to play solo, so if you want to cheat, guys, you can cheat all you want, you just have to do it solo. Apparently. In future, your HUD will have a discrete but visible watermark placed on it so that the gameplay footage created on this account can be readily identified as coming from a flagged account. So if you're going to cheat on the game, guys, and you want to create content, you're going to have a watermark. I'm sure a lot of people will figure out ways to kind of edit that out or whatever. I don't know, but there's going to be some type of watermark, so just don't cheat. You know what I mean? Anyway. All accounts will be checked for evidence of cheat use on launch day, April 1st, and then as regular intervals thereafter. Any account logs found to have evidence of cheating on them or on or after launch day will be permanently branded. I thought that said banned when I read it earlier. They're going to be permanently branded, guys. Okay, so they're going to have that watermark. If you cheated during the demo just to try it out, but wish to go into the main game unbranded, you must delete all of your characters and items on your entire account in order to wipe the slate clean. You should not carry over any progress between demo and main game if you previously cheated, but do not plan to do so in the main game. So that leaves us with the question, guys, what is considered cheating? So, intentionally running the game on PC without easy anti-cheat, modifying game files to enhance a character, their levels, skills, inventory, etc., externally modifying game time to reduce time-dependent features such as vendors and challenges, using a trainer program or similar to gain advantage within the game, using gameplay-altering programs such as aimbots or wall hacks. Individual players who are found to be regularly kicked by multiplayer hosts shortly after joining may also be manually reviewed as an additional anti-cheat, anti-grief safeguard. Farming is not considered cheating, even though the amount of battering that the captain underwent could be considered unethical. RIP to that captain. We reserve the right to update and change this policy in the future. So there you have it, guys. There's a lot going on with the cheating. They will not tolerate it. So just play the game the way it's supposed to be played. That's the only suggestion I have, because they do not want cheaters in this game, and rightfully so, in my opinion. Last but not least, guys, on this thread is the Hells Rangers info. And if you're anything like me, you're freaking pumped for this Hells Rangers stuff, guys, because it looks really freaking cool, not gonna lie. The Hells Rangers content will become available via your stash for anyone who owns it. This means that even if you progress through the story without it, you will not miss out on acquiring it in-game. You'll always have it. Please note that this gear is level locked to level 10, so you will need to meet its requirements, like achieving level 10 or playing on a certain level boosting world tier, before you're able to use it. So, not too bad, guys. You only have to be level 10 to be able to use your Hells Ranger stuff, which is not going to be that hard to do after launch. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know that was a lot of talking, a lot to take in regarding the launch of Outriders, but I'm so happy the devs were so transparent to break it down for us and let us know this is what's going to happen leading up until and after the launch of the game. So we have less than a week to go, guys, for the full launch of Outriders. I know you guys are excited as I am. It's been a long month playing this demo. It's been a lot of fun grinding for these legendaries and stuff, but now here very soon we get to jump into the full game. So with that said, guys, I'll leave a link down in the description to everything I just read regarding this thread. I hope you guys find it helpful. I hope you guys also check out the thread and also leave any feedback that you may have regarding issues you're having with the game. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be looking forward to teaming up with you guys on day one. For anyone that wants to know, I'm going to be grinding out the Devastator to start, and we'll see what happens after that. But we're going to have a lot of fun. Obviously, a lot of content's going to be coming here to the channel regarding Outriders. So with that said, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more Outriders content. My name is Sergeant Moose. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.